And we're back with my guide to the hardest maps in World War C. This time it's Cruise Control, aka Tokyo Free. I'm running the parts between the defenses at 2 times the normal speed, just to save everyone some time. Not a lot to say about this first part. You can't go loud. That's the first breaching charge location. Or I think you might be able to if you're so slow that, like, if you're inactive, I think a round of specials and a wave of zombies will come. But that doesn't really matter. Second breaching charge location. And there's a virus down here. I think a lot of people had problems with this map when it came out. I think people have gotten better at it, I'm not totally sure. It's pretty much from here on out people have problems. You should always use the breaching charge on this side, as it's a guaranteed tier 3 weapon, or crossbow, plus medkit and equipment bag, and box. And that's the third breaching charge location. Without being too sure, I think people consider this. That's the fourth breaching charge location, the hardest part of the map, as you're gonna be attacked from all sides, which means that it's incredibly important to look around as much as possible. Every time you reload, you should do a 360 and look around you, see what's going on. I think one of the big problems on this map is that too many people are just trying to get as many kills as possible, so they're just shooting at the pyramids in the pit and not killing the specials as soon as possible, which just makes everything a lot easier. I always run down to this end. I think it's a good idea to spread out a bit. The faster you are on the switches, the less zombies you have to kill. And remember, as always, look at what people are doing. If 2 people are already shooting at a pyramid, there's no reason for you to do that. You should look at what else or what other problem needs solving, and not just... I really think the main problem with this map is it's usually just 4 people each trying to top the scoreboard for kills, and no one is playing support and like taking care of the Zeke that attack upstairs on the level I'm currently on, and the specials. I think the most efficient way of playing is having DPS, Hellraiser, Exterminator, Gunslinger handle the pit, and then having support players focus on upstairs. And when I say focus, I don't mean that's all they should be doing, I just mean they should focus on it. It's not like you shouldn't help a teammate that needs help, or look around and see if something more important needs to be... if you need to help with something more important. But, yeah. If nobody's playing support, you do it. And just look around, kill specials as fast as possible, breach in charge location. People also have problems with this part between the two defenses, as far as I know. The problem that I think most people have here is that you're not guaranteed to run into any ammo boxes on the way. So a lot of people run out of ammo before they get to the final defense. It's a good idea. That's the second Vivus location. It's a good idea to use your secondary, if it's a silent weapon, on like the zombies that are asleep, whatever you call it. When I play solo, I always rush out and then go back here, so I funnel them through that door. Just the easiest way. Another problem with this part, I guess, is that like people don't look what the other people are doing. So it's like 2 people rush and 2 people search the whole map, and then they like get overwhelmed on opposite sides of the map. If everyone else is rushing, you need to do the same. If nobody is rushing, you shouldn't be. There's always tier 3 weapon or crossbow there. That's breach in charge location. Usually a heavy weapon, as you also saw. I'm not sure if that's guaranteed, but there's often one there. It's probably, or it is easiest to just rush through this part between the 2 defenses, but I would say follow the majority is my best advice if you're popping. There's always a box down here. And that's the third virus location, and that's a breach in charge location. People often get into trouble here coming up the stairs, because often, I think I just saw the bots shooting at zombies coming from the back. There's often a few zombies coming from the back and people aren't looking around. And then they get down, and then if a round of specials and wave come, you can quickly run into trouble there. I only get stationary machine guns here, which for some reason I think most people don't use them on this map. You might as well. There's usually plenty of resources, as there's 2 ammo boxes, and people often open a container. Plus there's often a couple of heavy weapons, so there's usually... That's a breach in charge location. And the last one is up here. Right there. I usually place the defenses as far back as possible on this map. And with that I mean electric grids and auto turrets. I place them as far back as possible and usually facing back, so they attack zombies coming up from behind, which I think is also a big problem, or one of the common problems for this final defense is that everyone is trying to get as many kills as possible at the fence, so nobody is taking care of the zombies coming from behind. It's the lack of anyone playing support, which is pretty much always the problem in my experience. Or it's one of the most common problems at least. You might as well use stationary guns here, as long as they're safe to use. But this, like right now, this is usually, or often, a time when trouble starts because no one is killing the zombies coming from behind. I thought there was a equipment back there for some reason. I use a rocket here, which might be a bit much for one bull. I would say if it's two bulls, it's okay. Although, like, you don't have to play efficient with the resources on Extreme, as there's plenty. I just like playing efficient and not wasting the resources. But you don't have to play that way. Unfortunately, I would say. There's always 2 more defense kits and a box that open before the last wave, like a little over midway through this battle, I think. So this is where I placed the grids. The first grid I get, and the next I place a bit further back. Watch out for lurkers when you're walking around here, as there's a lot of corners that have a lurker waiting on the other side. But in general, I would use my defenses to help keep the back safe. At least I would use electric grids and auto turrets for that. Defending against everything coming from the front is usually not a problem, and I would say the problem is more that it's usually 4 people doing that, when it should be 2 or 3 and 1 focusing on what's coming from behind and specials. So, to summarize, remember to look around. You have the chance every time you reload. Remember to solve the problem that isn't being solved. And it's not a recipe for success if everyone is just trying to top the scoreboard with number of kills. It's much easier if 1 or 2 players play support and focus on side, back spawns and specials. And that's it.